This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. And these shields, boys!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Shady. You are in the zone, and we are coming to you live this Thursday morning from the beautiful Colorado Rocky Mountains. Oh, man, what a week it has been, y'all. We've had a lot of stuff going on here over the past few days, past week or whatever. I'm gonna, in my 5x5 while I'm getting warmed up here, just asking if you can see me, if you can hear me. I have been having big surprise, more problems with the computer and the technology, but we're going to try to fly through this, but by the seat of our pants, y'all. There has been a lot going on this week. We've had the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping as it's been unfolding in front of us on a minute by minute basis on some of the major news stations. As far as I know from last night, they still haven't got her. They still haven't really got anybody that they can pin it on. They've got a suspect, or at least they took somebody into custody. So, yeah, we covered all that last week. What else? Oh, yes. Epstein files. 3.5. I don't remember if it was files or pages, but 3.5 million were released, and I believe I heard a while ago that they were unredacted. One of the things that they exposed was something that hit pretty big here in Colorado. There was a guy named, I believe his name was Reid Hoffman, a multi-millionaire who is mentioned in the Epstein files thousands of times. It is documented and verified that he was at Epstein's personal home residence, two of them, at numerous times. He went to Little St. James Island or Pedo Island or whatever they want to call it multiple times. He also backed campaigns here in Colorado. People like John Hickenlooper, Jenna Griswold, Brittany Peterson. All these politicians have accepted donations from a pedophile. So you got that going on. Look, need y'all do me a favor. Try to hang out to at least the middle of the video, because I am going to do something that I have never done on YouTube, on social media, or in real life. So you're just going to have to wait and see about that. So yeah, we've had Epstein files, we've had the Guthrie kidnapping, and the big hoopla over the past few days has been the Super Bowl halftime show. Of all things, the Super Bowl halftime show has been just the center of people's attention up until earlier this week, because it was still going on after the game. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth right now. I wasn't even going to watch the Super Bowl. I didn't have a dog in the fight. My team, they fizzled out months ago. I don't like New England, and I don't like Seattle. So I honestly wasn't even going to watch the game. Therefore, I probably was not going to watch the halftime show. However, I have a friend who was having some people over for the football game, and the guy had smoked his first brisket. Now, for those of you who do not know, I am an avid barbecuer. All right, I smoke meat at least twice a week, most weeks, just depending. So when he invited me and Mrs. Shadey over, I accepted mainly because I wanted to try out his brisket. Um, the brisket was fantastic. The game absolutely sucked. I don't recall. I don't recall seeing a Super Bowl that bad as far as the football game goes. Now, all the controversy as it is was swirling around the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And why? Well, because they had this guy, Bad Bunny. Y'all, the only way that I knew Bad Bunny, and I'm gonna make a embarrassing confession right here, but the only way I knew anything about who Bad Bunny was is Bad Bunny did this little tiny stint in WWE for a while, about, I don't know, a year and a half ago. He was like one of those guest celebrities that comes on every once in a while. I mean, Jelly Roll has done it. There's been multiple people that have came on and actually got in the ring and had an active part in professional wrestling. So that speaks volumes for the guy right there. Um, I was not going to watch Bad Bunny. And before anybody starts throwing darts at me saying anything about, you know, oh, you don't like brown people, or oh, you're racist or prejudiced or whatever. No, folks, it's not that. Okay. I particularly do not like hip hop music. I particularly don't like rap music. I mean, for the most part, I listen to classic rock, contemporary Christian, and classic country a lot of times. So it's not the performer, it is the performance, or his what he puts out. That's just not me. It's not that I hate Bad Bunny. It's not that I don't like Puerto Ricans. I just don't like the type of music. Now, there's a lot of people saying that the entire show was was immoral, for lack of better words. And I took a look at some of Bad Bunny's. I took a look at some of Bad Bunny's music, some of his lyrics, and I'm sorry, folks, but to me, and this doesn't just go for music, but for me, you don't have to drop the F bomb in every single verse that you're singing, if that's what you call what Bad Bunny does, rapping, whatever it is. This is how little I know about Bad Bunny. Um, you don't have to drop an F bomb every other word to make good music. In normal conversation with people, you don't have to drop an F bomb every other word. It's unnecessary, it's vulgar, and you just don't have to do it. Now, listen, I worked in prisons for over half of my adult life. I have been known to have the mouth of a sailor. I have been known to say a few colorful words in my life, and I still do. I slip, I still do. But when you got a guy that's talking about rub it up against something, push it in, yada yada yada, push it in. I'm just not into that. So the alternative and what we ended up watching. Let me see here. Hold on just a second, y'all. I'm going to do something here. Um, the alternative to the Bad Bunny Super Bowl show was the Turning Point USA halftime show. Now, like I said, we were guests at a neighbor's house, and so we tuned in. Halftime rolled around, and they did the casting from their phone to their TV off of YouTube, and we watched the Turning Point halftime show. And honestly, y'all, um, like I said, yeah, Red Dog, tell them y'all get to chatting. like I was saying though, the types of music that I like, that I gravitate to, are classic rock, country, and Christian. All right. I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the artist. Um, the one guy who had the microphone with the brass knucks for the handle and then the black chain for a microphone stand, that was cool. Now, the thing is, y'all, is let me get back to where I was. The thing about it is, y'all, is everybody's talking about Bad Bunny and how vulgar his stuff is, and how terrible, terrible, terrible the show was because of that. Well, Kid Rock, who you know what, I got no, well, I can't really say that. Kid Rock was the headliner for the Turning Point USA show, and if you go back to some Kid Rock's older music, you got the same thing. I mean, this guy did a duet with Snoop Dogg, riding on an airplane or something like that. I like some of Kid Rock's slower stuff. Midnight Train to Memphis was a good one. Photograph with Sheryl Crow, great song. I enjoyed those songs. But, you know, people who are turning over to Turning Point USA to Kid Rock and saying that that was better than Bad Bunny, the show itself was. The artist, not so much. Um, Kid Rock has put out some pretty bad stuff, and the thing about it is, I heard somebody talking in a video yesterday on this very subject, and they were saying you can drop vulgarities all through a song these days. You can make it as dirty, as nasty, as immoral, for lack of better words, as you want to, and you tag on the name Jesus Christ at the end of it, and all of a sudden that makes it okay. I'm sorry, folks, but I don't subscribe to that line of thinking. I don't. Um, so I was just taking a look over in chat. Sorry. So you had these two opposing things, and it's like I said, I did enjoy the Turning Point halftime show. Um, I saw some video clips of Bad Bunnies, and the staging and all that looked fantastic. Of course, when you're the NFL and you've got millions and millions of dollars, and you're Bad Bunny and you've got millions and millions of dollars that you can just throw at something to make it look good, then sooner or later it looks good. Um, but you know what, guys? I just lost my entire screen. That's typical. Um, so I wasn't really impressed with Bad Bunny, and the thing about the Turning Point show was that it seemed like they were lip syncing. Ooh, nobody ever lip syncs, but it seems like they were lip syncing, and then Kid Rock came on. I think it was Fox News or something, and he was talking about that the Turning Point production staff had got the sync a little off, and that's why it looked like they were lip syncing. I don't know, you guys. Um, Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I really don't care. The thing about it is while all of our attention has been focused on Super Bowl halftime and this and that and the other. Um, Hang on one second. Oops. Anyway, while all of our attention's been focused on that, there's other things that are going on in the world. But we are obsessed with the Super Bowl halftime show. We are obsessed with the Epstein files. We are obsessed with the Guthrie kidnapping. We're going to get to some other stuff here in just a minute. But y'all, there's something I need to do real quick. Um, I have never done this before. All right. As most of you know, this channel is not monetized. I don't know for sure if this channel ever will be monetized. I don't hawk things for people. I don't have paid sponsors. But every once in a while, something comes up that I personally enjoy. Something comes up that I myself buy. A couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I had been thinking about making Mrs. Shadey some espresso coffee. Well, it's one of those things you think about it and then you never actually, you forget about it while you're out doing stuff. Well, I happened to walk into an Ace Hardware here in Colorado Springs, and I found this. I don't know how well you can see that, but this is Wild Buck Coffee. Now, there's some really cool stuff about Wild Buck Coffee. That was the rut, the espresso. Let me see if I can pull this up, y'all. There it is. Wild Buck Coffee. That, like I said, that was the espresso blend. All right. What is so cool about Wild Buck Coffee? I'm going to try to do this. I've been doing it some earlier. The computer's been freezing up, but I'm going to switch screens for myself here just a little bit. Wild Buck Coffee. The company is right here on the front range of Colorado. The company, and here's the part that I really like about this. These two kids, Blake and Colt, not sure of their ages, but you can tell looking at the picture, these are wee little fellers. They live in, like I said, the front range of Colorado, Wild Buck Ranch near Elbert, Colorado. They are out in a rural area. Now, you're two kids out in a rural area and you kind of want some money so you can buy yourself stuff. And your parents tell you, like my parents told me, if you want it, go earn the money and get it. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something right now. In rural Colorado, on the front range, a lemonade stand is not going to cut it. Just to be honest with you, a lemonade stand is not going to cut it. There is not a lot of grass to mow. So you're kind of stuck. So these two kids, and you know as well as I know, their parents helped them with this. But these two kids started a coffee company. And I mean, it's like I said, I don't know their ages, but you can tell these are young kids. Started their own coffee company. And what really gets me is we've got these 19, 20, 21-year-old guys out there, and they got their little signs and they're marching back and forth in front of Starbucks saying that Starbucks doesn't pay their baristas a living wage. These people who are coffee jockeys, for lack of better words, they call themselves baristas. I think the only real baristas are in like New York City at like exclusive, coffee bars or whatever. But hey, if you want to call yourself a barista, call yourself a barista and you rock on. But you got these kids out here that are protesting because Starbucks is not paying them a living wage. Because somebody told them that they could make a career out of Starbucks. So they're out in the freezing cold with their little signs, marching back and forth, protesting Starbucks or picketing Starbucks or whatever they're doing. You got Blake and Colt here. Young kids won't earn money. They start their own coffee company. Let me tell y'all something right here. These two young men, these two guys right here, if they don't own Starbucks someday, if they keep going the way they're going to put them out of business. This is what the American dream is. This is a great way to teach and raise your children. But getting back to the coffee part of this, y'all see me. I drink coffee on here all the time. Love coffee. It's not great for me because I drink a lot of it, but hey, I drink a lot of coffee. I picked up this espresso, the Rut. I picked up this espresso blend, and I actually made a pot of it in the regular coffee maker, and it was some of the best coffee that I have ever tasted before in my life. Now, they have a huge variety of coffees. Life is better when you wake up with the buck. They got pumpkin spice, they got caramel, cinnamon, caramel apple, peppermint, gingerbread. It goes on and on and on. And here, right here is my favorite signature collection, the Rut, the espresso blend. So I am going to put the link to their online store in the comments below, or in the description of the video below. I'm going to put a link to their online shop. There are some places here in Colorado Springs. When you go to the online store, in that link, it'll show you where they are. There are a couple of Ace Hardwares. They've only got one listed, but there are a couple of Ace Hardwares that are carrying this coffee. So y'all do me a favor, please. Go over to the store. See if they've got anything over there that you like. If they do, order it from them. And if you can, tell them that you heard it here. It's like I said, y'all, I'm not getting paid one single penny for saying this. I'm not getting any free coffee. I'm not getting anything. Actually, they didn't even know I was going to do this. I literally sent them an email and said, I love your product. I'm going to push you out on my video, my next video. And I don't want anything for it. You guys just make a great product. So now, if you're out there and you see this and you want me to push your product, don't even start. Don't email me. Don't message me. I'm not going to do it, because I do this stuff because I like the stuff, not because somebody asked me to do the stuff. Now, we were talking about the Super Bowl and the halftime show and all the distraction that was there. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Red Dog. I'm sorry, I just now took a look over in chat. Got quite a few people in here, but nobody's chatting as Red Dog. So, as Red Dog put out a while ago. Anyway, we were talking about the Super Bowl. We were talking about the halftime show, and everybody was in a tiz over, well, Turning Point's going to be better. Well, no, the NFL is going to be better. If you don't watch the NFL halftime show, then you're a racist, blah, 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 blah. I am so sick of this crap, y'all. I am seriously tired of it, because while everybody is all up on that, while everybody's talking about it, things were happening that nobody actually paid any attention to. Now, let me go back just a little bit. I'm going to switch back over to this. Going to have to cut the chat off for a second. Not you guys on my side of it. I'm going to have to cut the chat off for just a minute. And we're going to go back some years ago. The last Olympics, I believe they were in Spain or France. They're in one of the two. But we saw this. This was the opening ceremony for the last Olympics. You've got this dude who is, I don't know, I think it got said that they were making fun, that they were making a mockery of the Last Supper of Jesus Christ. And here's the picture. And the blue guy, I can't really see him from that picture, but he is in there somewhere. This is a mockery of the Last Supper. of Jesus Christ. They said that, oh no, we're not doing anything that would mock God. We're not doing anything. This is a representation of the blue guy. I believe he represents a pagan deity named Dionysus. It's been a long time for me. It's been a long, long time for me since I was exposed to pagan gods and goddesses, so I'm not exactly sure. But the thing about it is, folks, is look at this. And this is not a good picture of it, but they were literally mocking the Last Supper. And even if it is some kind of tribute to some pagan god, y'all, it's a pagan deity, no matter how you slice it. And you know what? This got a whole lot of attention for a whole lot of time, and then it just kind of faded out. It's just like everything else in the news media. All right. This year, the opening ceremony of the Olympics, if I can find it, I know I've got it. There it is. This right here on the left side, this is what they did. They lit up a satanic pentagram. All right. If you look to the right, that is an inverted pentagram or pentacle. They're kind of used interchangeably, even though they mean something totally different. They literally lit up a satanic pentagram in the opening of the Olympics. Folks, I'm not one of these guys. I'm not one of these QAnon guys who thinks that the whole world is being run by a group of pedophiles. Although, I am not going to lie to you, I do not think that it's very far-fetched to believe. I do believe there is an evil in this world right now. And I posted something last night on Facebook. I said, I just looked out my window to see what chapter of Revelation we're on today, or something like that. Mrs. Shadey had showed me a t-shirt that had that on it. And honestly, I thought about buying it. But I posted that on Facebook last night. And I don't want to get too preachy on you guys, but if you can't look at things like that and tell that there is something very, very wrong in this world today. There is something very, very dark in this world today. There is something that, let's just call it what it is. There is something very evil in the world today. If you can't just turn on your TV, get on your social media, and tell that there's something very, very wrong, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I don't believe in a lot of things that I hear. I don't often, well, I do. I do jump down rabbit holes on occasion. The thing about it is that most of the time, when I jump down a rabbit hole, that rabbit hole branches off into 6, 7, 200 different directions. And I'll be sitting down here on the computer for hours. Sometimes I take some of the stuff that I find out and put it together, make a video out of it. Sometimes I'm just doing this just to keep myself informed of what's going on. I had somebody yesterday, day before yesterday, and all this stuff with the Super Bowl and the Olympics and all that actually came up. And this person said, I'll be glad when people can stop taking this artistic expression that people are doing and conflating it and inflating it to be something evil. And I said, you know what? I said, there's real evil in this world right now. And the fact that people call it art, that's a disguise for what's going on. You see, folks, we have been so conditioned over the years. We have been so conditioned to accept things. Okay. And it is bad right now. But we've been so conditioned over the years to just simply accept things. Oh, well, that's just art. Oh, well, that's just a movie. Oh, well, that's just a song. That it has desensitized us to the whole thing. All right. It is my belief that the human race has been under the human race has been under the influence of the greatest psyop in history. When evil becomes good and good becomes evil, when up becomes down and down becomes up, and we just accept it, there's something seriously, seriously wrong with that. Uh, Good morning, Coffee. How are you? Good morning, Mary. I think I already said good morning to you, Red Dog, all you guys in chat. When we get to the point to where we defend evil and call it art, then we need to take a good, long, hard look at our society. And there's a lot of this stuff that I would love to go down a rabbit hole with you guys, which I may do in the future. Not going to get into it this morning, but it just seems to me that there's all these distractions. Every time we turn around, there's something new slaps us in the face, and it takes our attention away from what's really going on in the world. Besides this subtle yet blatant display of evil, we've been focused on Epstein, Guthrie, the Super Bowl. We didn't see this going on in the Olympics. Some people did. We didn't see this going on in the Olympics. We are totally unaware of what's going on in, I don't know, say China or Iran or Russia. We have no idea what's going on in South America because all of our focus, all of our attention has been focused on this. Red Dog, if I can pull you up here. You know, you're right, but that's just a little piece of the pie, too. All right. And Beaverines forever. Yes, sir. That's just a little slice of it. It is everywhere, in everything. It's like I said, there's people that they were talking about Kid Rock, Turning Points halftime show is going to be a decent show and blah blah, and it was, but Kid Rock, no, not so much. So I think one of the things that I want to get across right now is don't let and I say it all the time, don't let this stuff that the mainstream is throwing in your face 24/7 distract you from what is really going on. It's like I said a while ago, they released 3.5 million pages of Epstein files last week. Most of them were unredacted. People were caught up with the Super Bowl. They didn't pay attention to that. Then when they were paying attention to that, they didn't pay any attention to anything else that was going on. So, yeah, this whole thing is one big gob of mess. They throw one distraction at you after another distraction. They hope when they say something stupid that if they throw enough other distractions at you, that you'll forget about that. a lot of us don't forget. I was talking about Reid Hoffman a while ago from the Epstein files. The the guy's named thousands and thousands of times, but no, everybody is so busy going after Trump and the Epstein files. In the Epstein files, they're so busy going after Trump that they're totally skipping or they're ignoring some of the other people that are mentioned in those files. Now, Mrs. Shadey was read something to me last night, and supposedly it was out of the Epstein files, um, and it's disgusting. Some of the stuff in these files is absolutely disgusting. If I remember correctly, this was a 12-year-old girl that this guy was communicating to Epstein about, and it just got it's sickening. And I really just don't want to talk about what was said in that email or in that communication between this guy and Epstein, but it will make you literally sick to your stomach to see any of that or to hear any of this stuff that's going on. Um, I've got that story that she read me in my mind last night. Now it's in my head, and I can't get it out, and I don't want to broadcast it. I really don't. It is that bad. It is that sick. And everybody keeps telling me, well, if you're a Trump supporter, you're defending a pedo or a pedo, whatever. Um, Let me tell y'all something right now. Most of you know this. I'm not a conservative. I'm not MAGA. Trump has done some things that I totally disagree with, and I've called him out on them. Um, I'm not a Democrat. I'm certainly not a socialist. I'm not a communist. I'm not a crook. Um, I am. I used to say I was a libertarian that leaned conservative. I'm not even calling myself a libertarian anymore, folks. I am a straight up critical thinking independent. That makes me dangerous for both sides. And I'm sorry. But if Donald Trump, if it's proven, and I've said this and I'll stand by it, if Donald Trump, if it is proven with facts, with legitimate proof that he was involved in any of this debauchery that was going on, I will gladly walk myself up to the Capitol in Washington. I will grab a hold and I will pull the lever on the gallows that hangs him in public. Because some of the stuff that I'm seeing in this, folks, if there's anybody involved in it, you're dirty. You deserve to be prosecuted. For some of the things that I have read, some of the things that I've heard about these things, you deserve a death penalty. So I'm not going to play partisan sides with anything. I'm an independent. So it's kind of like I was saying earlier, and getting back to the satanic ritualistic things that have been going on with the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. Do I believe that there is a global cabal of sexual predators and perverts that are running this world? I don't want to sound like Alex Jones, but I'm not saying that there's not. I know that I know in my heart there is something out there in this world that is dark, that is evil, and that is it powerful, rich, and there is something out there. You think presidents, you think kings, you think ambassadors, You think the leaders of nations are actually leading their nations? I don't think so. The rabbit hole's starting to open up, y'all. I don't think so. I think there is something that is controlling people. I don't believe, going back to the QAnon thing, I don't believe that there is a species of reptile lizard people from another planet that are disguising themselves as human beings and demanding blood sacrifices and running the world. However, I do believe that they are entities out there, that there are powers, principalities, wickedness in high places. I do believe that. And I do believe that those people that are under the influence of these things are actually running this world. Now, go ahead, click off the channel, unsubscribe, call me Alex Jones, call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to do. Just really quick here. Oh, scrolled away from me. Red Dog says, get right with God, pray daily. It's essential for your soul, and that is true. It's not just pray daily, it's pray constantly. People people these days have gotten so, I'm trying to find a word for it. People these days simply accept things, and that is part of our problem. The things at the Olympics, the mockery of the Last Supper, the lighting of the pentagram. People say, "Oh, well, that's just art. These people are just artists. That's all it is. It's them expressing their artistic side." No, no, it's not. You have been conned into thinking that. You have been made to believe, because so many people say it, you have been made to believe, oh, that's nothing. And we have been so fooled by Hollywood, by, for lack of better words, from horror movies that make evil out to be this big, huge monster with horns and glowing red eyes and this and that and the other. Y'all, evil is subtle, and it's been subtle since the beginning of time. And I'm just going to stop because Mary, you are right there. Yes, pray for discernment. And thank you, because you just helped me shift gears a little bit. I read a couple of articles and saw a couple of videos. AI. One article I read said that AI is going to be so advanced within the next 6 months, y'all. 6 months. AI is going to become so advanced that you're not going to be able to tell what is real and what is not real. And that is scary. Most of the time right now, if somebody does some kind of AI video, it can look real, but if you look closely, most of the time it's something to do with the eyes. Sometimes you'll have somebody that's got 6 fingers. If you look at the outline of the person, sometimes between the outline of the person and the background, you can see little subtle differences, and people can tell that what they're looking at is an AI video. According to everything that I was reading last week, within 6 months, you're not going to be able to tell what is real and what is not real because of AI. It's going to become that advanced. So, like Mary said, pray for discernment, because there's going to come a time, and it's getting here really quick, to where you're not going to be able to tell what is real, what is AI, and what an opportunity that would be for somebody to pull off yet another part of this ginormous psyop that we find ourselves living in right now. Katrinka, good morning. You're just a little bit late now, aren't you? Oh, my goodness. Good morning, Katrinka. Welcome to the chat. I am going to go over here and take a look and see what's going on. So if you've got anything to say about what I've been talking about, please, now is the time to do it in chat. Everybody's still saying good morning to Katrinka right now. And Katrinka's saying good morning to everybody else. Those AI videos look a little plastic. Yes, they do. They look. There's a way that you can tell what is AI and what is not. I have actually created a couple of AI videos. I did a couple for my faith-based channel, and I did one for Mrs. Shadey just because I wanted to make her smile, and so I gave her one that was sort of a comforting kind of video. I did that for her. But yes, there are certain things that if you look, you can tell that these things are not real. Mary Miles says, I've met two people in the past that have set off spidey alarms. And that is, like we were talking about just a minute ago, that's your discernment. I'm telling you what, if you want your spidey sense to tingle, if you want to hone that little voice, that little bell, that little thing that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, go get a job at your local prison and work there for 3 or 4 years. You will develop that spidey sense that when you get around somebody and they're putting off those bad vibes, yeah, you know it, and you know it quick. And Coffee First says she's met quite a few. I just back away and stay away. Quite a few people. The thing about it is, folks, what do you do when you go to your YouTube? What do you do when you turn on your CNN or your Fox or your Newsmax or whatever, and they're showing videos of something that is happening in real time that can't be real? Are you going to believe it? Are you going to fall for it? What do you do when they have some politician, some government leader, some leader of another nation that comes on and says something absolutely crazy? What are you going to do? You got to hone, like we were talking about in chat. You got to hone your discernment, because if this is anything near right, which I have no doubt, looking at the way technology has advanced in the past few years, I have no doubt that this will happen. It will happen fast. I take it all with a grain of salt. It's all BS anymore. And Red Dog, I kind of look at it that way myself. I don't trust anything when I first hear it. Okay. Most of y'all know me and you've watched these videos, and you know that something will happen and I will wait. I don't just jump right into it. 9 times out of 10. I can think of one exception, and that was the day that I was getting ready to do a video and Charlie Kirk got shot, and it started coming across my news feed. And honestly, I'll be straight up with y'all, I wasn't sure that was real, but I started going with the flow from the things that the news media was reporting, and sadly, yes, it was real. So yeah, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe the first thing you hear coming off of MSNB, whatever they are now. Don't believe the first thing that Sean Hannity tells you on television. Don't believe the first thing that you hear on your conservative radio station on AM while you're driving around town. Don't just take it at face value every single time somebody comes across social media or the mainstream and tells you something. Let it sit for a few minutes. The whole Guthrie kidnapping thing, I let that sit for a little bit before I said anything about it. Red Dog says, do you think the younger generations will be able to know the difference? Red Dog, I'm not even sure if the older generations are going to be able to know the difference. That's how advanced this is about to become, and it's scary. Chief Indian, welcome to chat, sir, or ma'am, whichever. Welcome to chat. I trust in the Bible wholly and solely the word for word. So I'm way down the rabbit hole. You know, the thing about it is, and it's like I said, I didn't want to get too preachy with y'all. But the thing about it is, if you read your Bible, if you read Revelation, if you read some of Isaiah, if you read some of Daniel, if you read parts of Matthew, and like I said, look out your window, you're wondering what chapter we're on today. What did I see? I saw something right here. Katrinka. Jesus warned us not to allow ourselves to be deceived in the last days. Yes, in the verse in Matthew where Jesus is talking about many will come in my name, he starts that verse off with do not be deceived. And yet, here we are. And you know, when I was a kid, I grew up Southern Baptist, and I had an old preacher tell me one time, or preached a sermon about the last days and how there will be a great falling away and how deception will run rampant in this world. And y'all, that was back in the late 60s, early 70s. Let's look at the world today. All right, we've got a lot of people out there that claim to be things that they are not. We've got, they call them woke Christians. I encountered one the other night who straight up told me that Jesus was a long-haired person of color who was a liberal hippie. The dude actually said that. And it seems like that's what a lot of the socialists are going with nowadays, that Jesus was a socialist. Jesus was a hippie. And then you get off in all this stuff to where you get movies like, what was it? Oh, God. The same guy that did Angels and Demons. Anyway, in this movie where they were after the chalice or whatever, and it turns out the chalice wasn't a cup, it was a person, and it was a bloodline. And Jesus married Mary Magdalene, and they had children, and Mary escaped and went to Europe, and the bloodline continued. None of that is biblical. None of that is even historical. I could be wrong, but I don't think Mary Magdalene ever made it to England. I could be wrong. I'm not a man. Coffee, who called you a man? I missed that. But what was that movie? It had Tom Hanks in it. You know, he's playing the hero, meets the girl. They're trying to track down the Holy Grail, the chalice. They go into the whole thing where the Da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper shows Jesus and the other disciple leaned away from each other, and this makes the chalice, and the guy sitting next to him really wasn't one of the disciples, that it was Mary because they had feminine features. And it just goes on and on and on. None of it, like I said, none of it is biblical, and a lot of it is not even historical. But I digress. Let me see. I am looking at chat, trying to see what we got going on here. Yes, thank you, Chief Indian. The Da Vinci Code. It was right on the tip of my tongue, right in the front of my mind, and I couldn't remember the name of the movie to save my life. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Chief. All right, listen, y'all. I know this has been a bunch of babbling. We kind of went everywhere in this. I think the main point that I'm trying to get across is what we've been talking about here for the past 5 or 10 minutes. Do not, do not take things that you are hearing, no matter what it is, no matter where it's coming from. Do not take things at face value that you see or that you hear. You know, we've got this thing now about you can't believe your lying eyes or whatever it is. It's getting to a point to where that's going to be true. Up until now, we have had the liberty, we have had the opportunity, for lack of better words, so where we can look at something and say that's not true, and we can know that that's not true. There's coming a time where we're going to look at things and we're going to say, wow, that's true, and it's not. All right. A couple of people in chat hit it on the head. Our Red Dog got Da Vinci Code right before Chief did. Thanks, guys. We're going to get to the point where we're going to see things, and you're going to have to put it on the back burner for a little bit. Okay? And if you want to take this to an extreme, think of the deception that people can cause. Think of the total chaos that can come about from believing whatever you see. Red Dog says, stand strong in your beliefs. Don't let them try to convince you that you're wrong. Red Dog, there ain't nobody going to convince me I'm wrong when I know I'm right. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there are certain things in this world that I these days, I stand strong in what I believe. I don't know if you guys saw it, but my shirt, unashamed. I am unashamed of what I believe these days. And that's new. That's something that just came about over the past year. It's been a journey for me. But I am going to go down some of these rabbit holes with y'all. It may not be a live stream, it may be a premiere. If it is a premiere, I can guarantee you a couple of things. One of those things being it'll be a lot more well done than the live streams. Because guys, a lot of times on these live streams, I'll be real honest with you. I'll get down what I want to say. I'll put some talking points down, and I will fly by the seat of my pants, praying the entire time that the technology that I'm using with, the internet, the Wi-Fi, my programs and stuff, praying that holds up. For example, when I went to the Wild Buck Coffee site a while ago, I was praying that my computer didn't lock up, because right now, if I was to switch over to a YouTube or an X video, I've had this problem, and it just popped up yesterday with my computer just completely locking up in this kind of grayish thing coming over the screen. Mouse doesn't work, nothing works. I literally have to reach up and click on the power button for a second. Then it takes me to my main screen where I have to go back and, get back into it. So, hey, the curse of the technology on the Shady Zone still persists today. All right, you guys, we've been going for a little over an hour. I appreciate each and every one of you coming in, stopping by, spending a little time, having a cup of coffee with me, and just kicking back and talking about some of the things that are going on in the world today. Once again, we ended up on a Thursday morning, and I can guarantee you that coming up very soon, that's going to switch, hopefully, to Tuesday mornings. And then we'll get constant. We'll get not constant, consistent in live streams. But for right now, I'm just doing the best I can do. All right. I have told y'all before, especially you Beaverines out there, that I am trying to give you a place to where you can come and chat with each other. And if you're watching this, if you're in the replay crowd and you're watching this, there's a reason that I don't put up a lot of what's going on in chat down on the bottom of the screen. That's because these guys in chat are talking to each other. They're socializing. They're sitting around and they're talking back and forth with each other because it's a community. This isn't about me. It's never been about me. This channel, it might have started out being about me, but these days, the channel is for you guys. Red Dog, I'm going to put the Wild Buck link on. I don't have it right now. I will put it in the description of the video when I'm done. Okay? Katrinka Beaverines, correct. That is what it is about. It's about, and when I was going, I was calling my subscribers my Spartans. All right? Because I didn't want to steal Beaverines. But there's so many Beaverines that are in the chat. And for those of you in the replay crowd who don't know what Beaverines are, those were people who followed Prepper Nation and John Davis. So, to honor John and to honor, and I mean that, to honor you guys that were subscribed, just like me, to you Beaverines out there. That's why I'm doing this right now. I want to give you guys a place to go. I want to give you guys a place to chat. And I know there's a few other people out there, Hutch, Backwoods, a few others that are still running their channels. Beaverines. Red Dog, rest in peace, John. Amen, brother. I know there's a lot of y'all out there that are still, running a channel, and that's great. But you know what? The zone is here too. I got this nice little core of people that come in here for the chats. And you know what? If we're sitting there and we're having a chat on a Thursday morning, we're doing a live stream on a Thursday morning, I got 5 or 6 people in this thing. I'm glad you're here. I will sit here and talk all day long to you. All day long. Just to give you a place to go. And just to keep that spirit going. That spirit of community that we all found with each other. I'll keep that going for as long as I can, even if I sit up here and babble and don't say anything, because it's not about me, it's about you. I don't know how many times I got to say that, but it is true. All right. Yes, Katrinka, it is very surreal. Before I get all teary-eyed and stuff, very young, and very sad. And each and every one of us, I'm sure that there's somebody out there, either in the chat right now or in the replay crowd, where this horrible, terrible disease, cancer, has affected your life, affected a loved one, taken someone from you. My ex-wife passed away from uterine cancer. And so I know. Took her to the emergency room. They did an x-ray of her chest, all over her lungs. It had metastasized, spread through her entire body. They wanted her to go to the hospital that night. She wanted to go home, sleep in her own bed one more time. Spent a week in the hospital, came home for about a week, went back to the hospital, and a week later, she was gone. Cancer is a beast. It shows no mercy. It's horrible. And if you've experienced it or you know somebody that has, then you know what I'm talking about. 3 weeks, folks. By the time they decided what kind of cancer she had and tried to do chemo, her body was too weak to accept the chemo. So, yeah, I understand Mrs. Nation. I understand what her and the kids went through or are going through. So, yeah, it's a huge loss to all of us. But the thing about it is, folks, we still carry on as a community. We don't let this thing that John Davis and Prepper Nation started, we don't let that end. All right? You Beaverines stay strong. All right? Yeah, Red Dog. I can't argue with that. And there's a lot of other things that I would like to talk about, but I am not at liberty to talk about right now, if you know what I mean. That concerns cancer and things like that. And it's not me. It's not me. Don't anybody panic. I'm fine right now. So like I said, folks, we've been going for a little over an hour. I've been just babbling for a little over an hour. But I hope that you got the point. I hope that you understand that when we focus on the things that they want us to focus on, they're distracting us from the things that they're doing, or they're distracting us from things that are happening all around us. And we don't ever see them because we're doing just what they want us to do. They're throwing these shiny little coins down on the ground, these breadcrumbs, and we follow them. We follow those. We can't see the forest for the trees. So be vigilant. Use your discernment about everything. Okay? Pay attention to the little things that are happening, to people using their artistic expression to express themselves. My God, what a crock of hooey. Look, y'all. Oh, yes, sir. Red Dog said ivermectin. Correct me if I'm wrong, Red Dog, but ivermectin was the drug that Joe Rogan was taking for COVID, that Trump had said something about to use for COVID, that everybody shot down because it was some kind of horse drug or something like that. Katrinka, take care of yourself. I'm about to cut this off here in just a minute if you want to hang for just about 2 or 3 more minutes. But I believe that is that drug, and I have taken a look at it, and I think I am not a doctor, and I am not prescribing anything to anybody. Do some research. Talk to your physician. If you're thinking about using any drug, ivermectin or anything else, get with your doctor first. But I've been doing a little research on this stuff, and I think it's okay. Until next time, y'all, take care of yourselves and each other. God bless and look out after each and every one of you. Stay shady. And hey, Beaverines, y'all take care.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. And these shields, boys!